Mr. Israeli, thank you very much for joining in and speaking to us about your Q2 FY23 performance. I wanted to start by first congratulating you in terms of the performance this quarter. It has been a record performance in terms of revenue as well as PBT and EBITDA. So congratulations on that. But I just wanted to get down to a couple of basics. The US business was the key driver for growth for you all this quarter. How much of that was due to Revlimid generic, the cancer drug? How much did Revlimid generic contribute to your numbers this quarter?
Thank you, and thank you for having me. The product meaningfully contributed to this growth. At the same time, we have other good products as well in the US. So we cannot share, as it's part of a volume limited settlement that we had with the innovator, we cannot share exact numbers, but we believe that this product, as well as the other product, will continue to contribute meaningfully also in the next coming quarters.
Okay, so you expect Revlimid generic to probably contribute in the coming quarters as well. Is it fair to assume that you probably saw maybe $90 million of sales from Revlimid generic this quarter?
I cannot share numbers, but it is a very good launch for us, and it's going to continue to be like that as well, as you said, in the next coming quarters.
Okay, so what you're implying is that the volume limitation that you have with regards to Revlimid generic and all the other settlers do have as well is not over for you?
Absolutely not. We have our settlements take us to 2026. Naturally, over time, more people will offer more volumes, and the competition will intensify. But absolutely, it's not a one-time thing.
Okay. What I mean is that the volumes are not over for FY23.
The volumes are not over. We will continue to sell the product also in next coming quarters.
Okay. All right. How is the base performance in the US then, ex of Revlimid? Say, for example, your antibiotic drug, Ciprodex, as well as Suboxone, the opioid drug. There was some pressure that we saw in Suboxone in the previous quarter. Can you explain to us how the business performed on a base, as well as what is the kind of price pressure that you faced this quarter?
Sure. First, just a small comment. We don't have opioids product. We have anti-opioids product. In that sense, I believe that the performance is consistent with what we have. So we said also in the past that our sales in the US market is growing overall on a single-digit basis. We outpaced the market, so we grew faster than the market. And this is going to continue to be also this year as well as in the years to come. From time to time, we'll have launches that will contribute more meaningfully. Specifically to the products that we mentioned, indeed, there was more competition and we faced some price erosions. But overall, it doesn't change the outlook that I mentioned. The US market, with or without Revlimid, will continue to grow.
Okay. So what is the price pressure that you saw this quarter? What are you guiding for?
We, as you know, we are not guiding, but we can state that we did have more competition that entered into some of the key molecules, and we see normal behavior in terms of price erosions and market share pressure. At the same time, we launch products, and it's in a normal course of business in the US. Just this time, naturally, it was more than that. We will continue to see this kind of behavior also in the quarters to come and years to come in the United States.
Okay. So a base business in terms of US quarterly sales, if you did around, say, $344 million this quarter or thereabout, are you going to do $300 million plus in the coming quarters as well? Is that the base that we're working with because of the contribution of Revlimid generic?
Without sharing numbers, because again, I cannot give guidance on specific numbers, but to your point, we believe that you are going to see good quarters from the United States also in the next coming quarters, yes.
Okay, all right. Extremely tight-lipped in terms of numbers, but I'm going to try my hand at the margins then. You did margins of around 30% this quarter, which is reported by the company. What is sustainable going forward, X of the extraordinaries?
What we are saying all along, we believe that what we want to contribute long term is double-digit growth, 25% EBITDA, 25% ROC, no debt, and amazing upside. This continues to be the same, and from time to time, you see, this quarter, naturally, the parameters we were even above that. This is allowing us to invest more in R&D, more in the future, and when we will be with the better EBITDA, it will enable us to invest more into the future. So I would say that this quarter is very consistent with the quarters that came before, and with the timing of products. Sometimes we have more and sometimes we have less. But overall, we are very comfortable with the 25 that we are discussing for the last several years.
Okay, so you're sticking to your guidance of around 25% margins. What about the US as well as non-US growth? You had guided for single-digit growth in the US as well as double-digit growth in the non-US markets. That still stays as well?
Yes, and this is on the multi-year basis. We will have years, including the margin that we discussed, that will have more. For example, this year we will have more. We will have years when the competition will come to some of the key products that it will be less. But overall, we feel very confident on the long-range basis with this guidance.
Okay. Russia did well. It was up 85% on a Q-on-Q basis, possibly aided by a low base. But how much of this growth can we see in coming quarters as well? How is Russia doing as a business?
Russia got normalized in the beginning of the conflict. There was some uptake of inventory by the Russian consumer that got normalized by now, and we see basically the impact of these normalizations. For us, it's business as usual in Russia, and we will continue to see similar growth as we saw in the past. Also, in terms of currency, ability to transfer money in and out, we do not see any challenge. So we are very pleased with our performance in Russia, plus potential upside that may arise from players that may decide to either leave or to deprioritize Russia. For us, it's business as usual as we speak.
Okay, what about India? Because you did say that you grew in double digits X of COVID, but X of COVID-19 as well as the divestment of brands that took place, what was India growth like and what are you guiding for?
We are guiding the same. India will continue to grow double digit, and we are very confident about India. We are investing a lot in India in terms of both Horizon 1 and Horizon 2. We had a very successful integration, both from Novartis as well as the in-licensing that we did. Our product mix will become more and more chronic. We will continue to divest non-core assets. So we all the time will have to rebase our stuff, but we believe that there is a certain focus and value that we want to bring from a certain brands and certain future brands. So India was and will remain very important for us, if not the most important for us.
Okay, all right. This divestment of more non-core assets, what is your M&A plan when it comes to India? You've divested assets to JB Chemicals, to Torrent Pharma. Are you buying anything? You did buy one particular cardiac brand, but what's in the shopping bag? What's on the M&A list in India?
Anything that is available is in the shopping list, but we will not pay prices that we feel are unreasonable. The way we look into inorganic is primarily where we can add actually value to either to the seller or to the collaborator. We want to bring innovation to India. We believe that the focus for a company like us is about unmet need. We identify areas on both Horizon 1 and Horizon 2 that we want to focus. So likely that you'll see continue in licensing, continue collaboration, from time to time acquisitions, but not in a crazy multiples. And much more important, we are investing now heavily into clinical trials. We want to bring NCEs, new chemical entities. We want to bring new biological entity into India. And it's a key for the strategy. It's also key to the existence of Dr.Reddy. So India is important from every aspect that we can think of.
Okay, all right, Mr. Israeli, we're going to leave it on that note. Thanks very much for joining in and speaking with us on your Q2 performance. Congratulations again on a good quarter.
Thank you so much for having me.